everybody, and welcome to the show. I think I'm coming through on these things, so I need to hear those. Okay. All right, well, welcome to the show today. I'm happy to be kicking off the Great Work project. I had some thoughts and ideas about where I would be when I started the show today that didn't quite manifest the way I thought they were going to. But that's okay. I'm not too worried about it because I've got, I'm kind of really excited about this. I'm not going to lie. So what are we doing here? I want to talk about what we're doing, why I'm excited about it, and where we're going to go with it. Last week when I was talking about it, I thought I was going to set up a whole separate class on my site to manage all this stuff and, run with it there and some kind of weird, overarching umbrella program that I didn't end up setting up because once I got into it, I realized I don't need to do that. It's overcomplicating things, over-engineering things by quite a bit. So today, what I want to do is I want to go over what to expect for the next few weeks, what the Great Work project is going to be about, what we're going to accomplish, and how we're going to accomplish it. How to use the site to access the course materials, how to log into the site, how to actually, well, I don't know. I don't know if I can actually show you how to log into it because I don't have maybe I can. We'll see. I'm in a bit of a technical situation right now because I have a... Anyway, it's kind of complicated. I'm going to be sharing my screen, but the screen I'm going to be sharing is across the room where I can't actually see it from where I'm sitting because I have 50-year-old eyes now, and they don't see that far. And I took down my monitor because I didn't want to have the... It's annoying having too many monitors on your desk, right? So, but now I need it, and anyway, this is what I get. This is what I get for doing the things the way I do them, and that's okay. I enjoy my life most of the time. It's just sort of frustrating sometimes. Okay, so back to it here. All right. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to go over the process of the Great Work, right? And the goal is to create... let me pull this up here. Okay, so, the goal is to create a... pull up my notes. All right. The goal is to create empowered, efficient magicians capable of creating the world as they see fit. The process takes you from normal human who knows there's more but can't figure it out, what is missing, into a fully functioning human with all the bells and whistles of the advanced magician. All right, so that's what I had for notes for my my thing I was going to be doing here. So what the goal is to create all of us, like the ideal version of ourselves, the magician versions, right? Hey, how's it going, DJ? Hey, Diana, how's it going? All right, so like the ideal version of ourselves is the fully empowered and efficient magician that's able to craft their reality using the techniques of magic, the results of all of our initiations, and to manipulate our world the way we see fit, right? That's the goal. That's it. That should be the goal of the Great Work, in my opinion, for everybody, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm not going to judge if other people are not doing things the way I do them. This is entirely based on my experiences. This is entirely based on what I think should be the way of doing things. It's not for everybody. If it doesn't work for you, if you disagree with me, great, whatever. I will withhold judgment. I will not withhold judgment. I will judge you harshly. I think that what I'm doing is pretty self-apparent, self-evident as the means to do things. It's based on the Emerald Tablet of Hermes. It's based on the Corpus Hermeticum. It's based on the Derveni manuscript. It's based on the Great Work as it's laid out as a process. If you've done any kind of process management, you can see there's a beginning, an ending, and a transformation that takes place along the way as a result of tasks performed in a linear fashion. I like to think of the Great Work as a process that churns out magicians. If you look at our symbolism, the way we refer to ourselves across time, we've called ourselves the Invisible College. The people that teach occult secrets have this giant alchemical symbol of this giant cube where things go in and things come out, and it's the invisible college where we learn how to process the light inside of us into a material reality. And that's what the process is teaching us to do. That's what the great work is. It's the transformation of a person who has seen the light, who has seen the eye in the pyramid, and has understood that that's their eye they're looking at, and they want to learn how to grab that light and use it to influence reality more according to their own tune. You know, like it's fine to get enlightened and watch. You don't have to participate. Those of us who want to participate, we can do that. And if you want to participate with magic, we can do that. And that's what this is about. Not judging other people's paths. I don't care what other people do. I care what I do. And what makes me happy is talking about this stuff. I don't know why it cranks my knob to enjoy this. I don't know. It's very enjoyable for me to talk about magic because it's a lot of fun. I don't know why that is. I think it has to do with my true will and my purpose for existing. I think I am one of the people that talk about how to refine the light for your own ways. I think that's just, some people are called to that, and that's what we do. And you can't help but do it because that's what you're called to. I think it's fate. I think it's kismet, destiny. We are here because your life has led you to this moment. Or whatever. I don't know. But it is what it is, right? So, yeah, let's carry on with it. During these shows, I'm going to be doing a ROMO approach. This is based on what I learned in the FAA. I can't remember what ROMO stands for anymore. I believe it's review, objectives, motivation, review, overview, motivation, objectives, I think, is sort of like what, but the idea is that you go over what you've learned before. You talk about what you're going to be learning today and how it fits into what you've learned before. You talk about why it's important to your audience, and then you talk about your key objectives for your lesson, right? So yeah, it's got to be review, overview, motivation, and objectives. So that's the approach I'm going to be doing. That way it'll kind of make this happen in a flow and a context, and we can kind of keep track of where things are going. I want to talk about each of the main courses as we go at a very high level in these weekly sessions. So I was thinking I'd talk about conjuration today, and we do blah, blah, blah. And you could do a deep dive on your own. And then next week I'll talk about HGA, and you can watch those 3 videos on your own. And then next week I'll do the 7 classes. And I don't know if that's going to work out that way. I think that's not going to work out that way. When I started thinking about it more and more, I realized that, like I looked at the conjuration class stuff, and there's sections to it that could very easily be a whole week's worth of conversations. But the idea is that I'll talk about a section of the class materials, and at that point we can go over the materials and then have a question and answer session at the end of the class to go over anything that has come up so far, right? So we have this ongoing conversation and whatnot, right? I am turning on the groups. I went into my group settings for my site, and apparently I have over 3,000 groups that have been set up on my site because I never shut down security on it, and so 3,000 Chinese medicine groups have been created on my site. Most of them are in Chinese characters, I believe. It could be Japanese. I'm not familiar enough, I regret to say. But it is in some one of the scripts from that part of the world. But so I got to go through and delete 3,000 groups, 20 at a time, apparently, until I can figure out how to do a group delete without breaking my entire database. So I will turn on a group. I'm going to set up a group for this to talk about this. And we will have conversational stuff in there, and I'm going to grab any questions that we have as we go along from there. And you can also talk to me here in the chat log over here. I am chatting. I can see like DJ Drachnell, and Diana have pinged me so far today. I'm happy to answer these questions as we go along after our overview of stuff. So weekly sessions are going to be review of what we talked about the week before, overview of what we're going to talk about today, how it fits in with everything, why it's important, and then what we're going to talk about. And then Q&A about what's gone on so far. The steps we're going to go in, I'm going to basically, like for each of the sessions, I want to hit on what I think are the key points, the key takeaways from the course materials. There's a video that comes with each of the classes that is me sitting there for hours talking often about these detailed subjects. It's not really broken up in any kind of way that's as useful as I would like it to be, but I'm going to be working on the videos going forward. I've got a new video editor, or I've been learning how to use my video editor more better. Yeah, but also there's in the course materials, there's links to all the videos, and you can get to them through the actual class materials from my website, and we'll go over that here in a few minutes. So we're gonna the process of the great work. Within the Western mystery tradition, or what I call the Western mystery tradition, the RO mystery tradition, based on the Westernish, if you're in Russia, you'd call it Western, approaches to magic. The European, based on Greece, stuff that is not too culturally appropriative for someone of my European ancestry to refer to in terms of symbol sets to talk about the mysteries. That's the place we're going to be focusing on. But the process of initiation is based on the symbolism of the Greek mythologies, specifically the Derveni manuscripts interpretation of the Hesiod's basic mythology of Zeus. The Zeus taking over from the Titans, and all of the creation mythos that came from chaos and everything that emerged out of it, all that stuff, right? So it's a Greek Hellenic understanding of creation, and around that we have the Orphic mystery traditions, and then from that core belief system, as it were, those symbol sets, we track the progress of magic through Europe and into the 16th century, and I teach a lot of stuff on the archangels and those approaches, and how the planetary symbolism of the mythology got translated into the techniques of the 16th century, because the 16th century provides a very nuanced set of tools to be able to access the planetary powers that we can get into from the Greek mythology, right? And it's all tied together because it's all planetary magic. The common theme are the planets and the planetary magic. So the process of the great work, the method that I teach, is based on planetary magic. It's based on the Corpus Hermeticum, the descent of the human spirit passes through 7 spheres and receives 7 planetary powers. You are incarnated as a human being. You manifest, and then you forget everything that you learned coming down. You have to be reminded through contemplation and initiation ceremonies who you are. You reclaim your powers, and then you return to a state of being a co-creator with everything. That's the great work. That's what I'm trying to get people to do. The path of doing that is initiations along the way. I believe that we go through alchemy, right? I use the alchemical process as the framework for how we go through the process of initiations, right? Each one of these, the overall process of the great work is returning to your state of being, right? And I've broken it into elemental initiations so you can understand your place in the physical world. Planetary initiations, there's 7 planetary initiations you go through so you understand your relationship to those 7 planets. And the HGA initiation, so that you can get and obtain a personal assistant who is sort of like, today we have AI, right? And when I did start all the shit, we didn't have AI, but it's basically like a spiritual AI thing. Instead of being trained on a large learning model, it's very much analogous to a representative of the consciousness of everything that you can't really put into words. The Holy Guardian Angel has access to divine knowledge and is your personal assistant in terms of interacting with the other invisible spirits that create the world, right? So so the process I'm going to lay out is understand conjuration, because most of what we do as magicians that I'm going to teach is conjuring spirits to perform the processes that result in you going through the great work. You will conjure elemental spirits to bring us into elemental initiations, so we understand the fourfold approach to interacting with our material world, right? We know that there's not really the element of fire, earth, air, and water making up everything. We know that's not true. We know that's a model and a symbol set. But in our magical techniques and our tool sets, having that fourfold elemental approach makes everything else make sense. It's a key knowledge piece. It's like if you think of like a base 10 system, humans counting in numbers, right? We've got a base 10 is 2 5s, right? 1 through 10, your number system, right? You can do an 8 base system, 1 through 8, and you've got your 8-bit system for computers and technology, right? So they're 8-bit, right? And you've got different number bases can produce different things. The occult mystery system that I'm working from uses the number 4 for elements, and that's a base code for everything else. It builds on a scale of 4 in the material world. Some systems add the 5th element of spirit. I think that's not necessary, right? Agrippa's scale of the number 4 gives us a set of coordinates and coordinations and correspondences to everything else in the mystery tradition. So 4 is important. So one of the first initiations we go through are the 4 elemental initiations, so we can immediately have a material basis to interact with the other 7 spirits and everything else. And if you look at occult traditions, the number of magic is 11, right? 7 plus 4 is 11, right? Seven planets, 4 elements. That's what's necessary for your magical acts, at least within the system I'm teaching. The Emerald Tablet of Hermes talks about how magical acts are made, in my opinion. You raise through the 7 spheres and you return in power, and thus was the universe created. Alchemically, that's you're going through this transformative process and purifying yourself, and then returning in power to materialize the stone. Okay, within each initiation, you're going to go through an alchemical process. The alchemical process consists of the black work, the white work, the green work, and the red work. The black phase is where you basically you just get started. You're gathering up all your crap and you put it into one place, and you start to apply heat, and the first thing it does is it turns black. Now this is the part of the process where all the impurities begin to rise to the surface, and it just turns black. All right, when you first start learning about the planetary powers, for example, we'll take an initiation into the sphere of the moon as an example. When you first learn about the moon, you're going to hear all this stuff about Selene and Hecate and witchcraft and Wicca and the Inanna myths and Isis and all these other lunar things, and Diana and Hecate and Artemis, right? And all these different aspects of the moon are going to manifest in your life, and you're going to be drawn to cultures that you may or may not have connections to, and you're going to have all this inundation of information, right? And as you start to get serious about your relationship to the sphere of the moon, and you start to take your path, like I'm going to teach you about Gabriel, the archangel of the moon, and the Orphic hymn to the moon, and some stuff from the Greek magical papyri about Hecate, and that's one way to frame your initiation into the moon. And you can interact with those spirits through conjuration, right? And vocalization of your intent to be initiated. That's what I teach. But there's other ways to do it, right? And in the black phase of your purification of your relationship to the spirit of the moon, the power of lunar forces that represent manifestation and demanifestation, waxing and waning, right? As you grow in your awareness of the current, that aspect of existence that governs things coming into being and leaving, you're going to harmonize with it and learn how to add more waxing or detract waxing, or increase the speed of waxing or decrease the speed of waxing or increase the speed of waning, right? And that's how things come into being and leave this world, right? And you get more understanding and more nuanced control over that as you progress in your initiations. And that's where you take that's all that black material, all this huge wide information of material, like all that crap, you start purifying it. And as you get serious about it, your intention, your attention, as you pay attention to it, you're projecting the light of your mind, the heat of your intellect. You're projecting it onto what you're studying. And as that heat hits that massive amount of information, the things that you're interested in, the things that harmonize with your personal upbringing, your background, your personality, your natal chart, your personal reincarnated obligations from your oaths to the moon goddess and your past existence, whatever the fuck is manipulating you to do the things, right? You're going to draw to yourself, as a lodestone attracts iron, those aspects of the lunar current that are going to make it your relationship with that spirit. And that's what I talk about in the conjuration class. But this process of attaining the right version or the right entity that you're going to communicate with to understand lunar forces, that's what this black phase of the alchemical process is. You expose yourself to all this information and you resonate with parts of it, and the dross, the part that doesn't mean anything to you, might be meaningful to someone else at their phase of reality, but for you it doesn't mean anything. That goes away. As you apply your attention to it, it creates heat, and that heat creates the alchemical process, and it begins to get rid of the crap, and all you have left are the things you need to focus on. And as you focus on it, it becomes the white phase, right? And in the white phase, your personality, the crap in your sphere that makes you misunderstand the moon, goes away. Okay, your attention, your expectation that everything has to come into being according to your plans and your timing, that goes away when you get initiated into the moon, because that's your personal crap. All right, and so once you get rid of the external crap that separates your understanding of the moon from you, then you have to understand your relationship to those symbols that you've been drawn to, and that purification is the white phase, the calcination, right? So that black matter has cooked off all the crap, and all that's left is this pure stuff. But now we got to purify it even further. So more heat is applied, and that's after you do your initiation. You conjure the spirits, and they apply the pressure of the power of the planet and the pressure of the moon sphere, pushing down onto the sphere of the magician, making it capable to receive those powers, pushes out all the parts of you that stand in the way of that manifestation. That's painful sometimes. We call it calcination because it's inflaming. A friend of mine, Suzanne Lydia Ills, paints these amazing symbolism pictures, right? And she has this picture of Calcinato that is the angel descending in flames through the heavens like a spaceship returning to Earth, right? And in the calcine, the friction of passing through that atmosphere, it is purified, and the angel is revealed to be the angelic self, right? The higher celestial self of yourself is made manifest as you go through this process, and it's cleansing. But it can be painful because we cling to these parts of ourselves. It's all very transformative, and this is where people like, in my opinion, BJ Swain, like in my mind, the BJ in my mind is always admonishing me not to make this a psychological, not to make magic psychological. And it's important to remember that magic is about miracles, right? The psychological side of this, in my opinion, the great work is religious. It's the salvation of the soul. Okay, soteriology is the study of salvation. And as magicians, as hermeticists, I believe, I'm not saying this for all magic, but for me, my interpretation of it is that out of hermetics, we learn that we are souls cast astray in matter, and we have forgotten who we are and what we could do. And that we suffer because we don't pay attention to our divine nature, our inner divine self, right? And the Zeus manifestation, the aspects of it, the things that I call Zeus, that's just a way of talking about it, all right? But the salvation of us is this cleansing of the evils we've gotten along the way, in my opinion. That's my take on it. All right, and the calcination of that is the white phase, right? And that's where you burn away the impurities and you become a purer person. right? Your manifestations aren't manipulative anymore. They're just manifestations. It's not mean. You're not working out your mother's opinion of you when you were 6 on your coworkers anymore. You're just working on manifesting your desired outcome, because that's what you really want. You've dealt with that crap. But it was painful to go through the dealing with it. That's why you need a therapist, you guys. I'm really serious about this. Definitely to have someone you can talk to. Okay, I have a friend who, and I'm not suggesting that you use AI for a therapist, but he has found, and he has a therapist, but he has found that the conversations he has with AI are very useful along with his therapy. So at the very least, I mean, Jesus, you guys, we have free AI for a lot of us. Anyway, don't be afraid to talk about what's going on with you and demand. You definitely need someone to talk to. One of the values of doing this with a group of people, like I'm going to show you how to sign into my site and everything. It's free, by the way. You just if you ask questions, you can keep yourself from wasting time being crazy, right? We delude ourselves, and the only person we hurt is ourselves. Well, we hurt a lot of other people too if we're crazy. I have issues that I've had to overcome where I was harming other people and didn't know it, and I'm sorry. I apologize. I got better, and you get better. It's not like, that's one of the powers. We save ourselves, right? Salvation. It's about becoming better at things. And as bad as I might seem to be at things, I used to be a lot worse. Anyway, so after the white work, we go into the green work. And up until the white work, all we're doing is getting rid of crap that's happened to us up until the green work. Up until the green work, we're only getting rid of what happened to us outside of ourselves, being born, since we've been born. All right. In the black work, we're gathering information from this material world. We're taking it all in. In the white work, we're cleaning it up, and we're cleaning up our relationship to it and getting rid of the crap that we got from our parents and our friends and our schools and our government and all that crap, the media. We're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of our expectations. How many people out there think that enlightenment is what they've been told about Siddhartha, right? That's what we think it is. And what do we know about what really happened? We don't. Most of us know what we've been told about Siddhartha, right? But then you study the actual life of Siddhartha, and it's different than what you've been told about it. It's different than what Buddhism says it is, and you can see it. It's the same as Christianity. You look at what Jesus actually did, what we know about that time period, what we know about history, what we have facts about, and then you look at what Christians say happened, and then you look at what the Bible says happened. It's not the same. There's differences, right? Anyway, I don't remember why I was talking about that. But the green work kicks in when the transformation happens, right? You get rid of all that crap that came in from outside of you in the white work. But the green work is where the transformation starts. So once you've figured out what your relationship to these forces are through the symbol sets of these gods and spirits and their assistants and their techniques and whatnot, right? Once you've figured that out, then you begin the transformation of yourself. The green phase is the rainbow phase, the peacock phase. And if you heat up copper, as it cools off, if you heat it to the right temperature, it goes through a series of colors, and they call it the peacock phase. And it's like purple and red and green and blue, and it shimmers really fast. And that's the green phase of alchemy, is when things are going through that transformation. And it's many things at once, okay? And in that mingling of things, it's potentially all things. Right, and that's what's going on there, and that's the transformation of the self, and it happens after calcination, right? So if you look at when you're baking something, there's a point where it stops being dough and it turns into bread, right? And up until that moment, it's one thing, and then it stops and it turns into something else. Okay, and in the green phase, up until that moment, you're burning away external stuff. But at the green phase, you've hit a temperature point. It's like hitting 165 degrees and everything dies. It's like you're at the point where the chemical transformation can begin. when you're doing chemistry and you create a situation where a molecule can dissolve into its component atomic parts and then, based on the environmental conditions, recombine into new molecules, you've created a chemical transformation. That's what we're doing. We're creating heat in our lives to release the things that are attached to us, that keep us from being the molecular structure that we could be, that allows us to manifest the properties of the intrinsic elemental configurations that make us up in the material world. We're cleaning ourselves up so that we look like a friggin' quartz instead of looking like a lump of dirt on the sand on the beach. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're immersing ourselves in chemicals. We're stripping away the impurities, all right, until you can see what's inside, right? We're applying pressure to what we've revealed until it creates a spark. If you're talking about quartz, that's what you do to get piezoelectricity out of a quartz thing. You squeeze it until it makes a spark. But you can't do that until it's a pure piece of quartz. The white work gets you purified. The green work is where you're able to start to turn that into something. You transform into something that is greater than you were before, and you can start turning that energy into a manifestation, a materialization, the way you want, the way you intend it to, because you understand your relationship to it and your ability to be a conductor for that power. That's what initiation is. And that's when you hit the end of the green work, is when you put that spark out into the world. That's the red work. All right? So every initiation you go through is an information gathering process, a cleansing process, a transformation process, and an application process. All right, the red phase of the work is where you've made the fucking stone, you grind it up, you mix the powder with the water, and you drink the medicine, and you cure yourself, and you heal the world with it. Okay, that's when the magician is no longer reading the books about it, but they've done the initiation, and now they're doing the magic, and they're creating the world. I operate from someone who's been doing magic for years now. All right, and I'm doing it, and I'm having a fun time with it, and I screw up things a lot, and I'm operating as a bumbling idiot. I am the fool of the magician of the tarot card, right? I'm the magician fool. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's because I'm out here with like 6 or 8 other people who are doing it with me, you know? Amongst the occultists, maybe a dozen. There aren't a lot of people that are even keeping up, you know? In my groups of my friends and even the people that are in my classes, I see I see a lot, honestly. But that's because they're the kind of people that are drawn to this are the kind of people that want to have the kind of life that I'm interested in. So of course I find them interesting. Anyway, it makes sense. Birds of a feather flock together. So anyway, each initiation is going to turn you into something that's capable of channeling this information out there. And I don't know that I covered that last week in our initiation thing. So I wanted to recap that that's what was going on in an initiation. And that when we're doing this great work, this process that I'm talking about is going to be that for everything. All right, that's the method of accomplishing this soteriology. Okay, in Christianity, you're saved by the blood of Christ on the cross. It does everything for you, and now you're in heaven, even though you're still an asshole. Okay, that's bullshit. It's just bullshit. It doesn't work. It doesn't change anything. The only people who change who are Christians are people who change themselves in faith that Christ has their back. All right, and that's all we're doing here as magicians. We're changing the world in faith that our spirits have our back. And where does our faith come from? Our knowledge and our experience with our spirits that we get from initiation. Okay, we were talking the creating a prosperous life group. We had a meeting last night, getting ready for the next cycle. By the way, if you want to join with that, I'm going to make that available again. Next cycle is starting at the next full moon. We're going to release all the stuff up through the spheres. I have to figure out the schedule and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, I was talking to them about it, and we were talking about how what was it? I forgot what I was talking about. God damn it. Sorry. That makes me a little upset. I hate when that happens. Well. Anyway, yeah. Once you get into the point where you're actually creating your life, it's a different set of cycles that you have to deal with, and the process of getting there is a process, you know, and it's a matter of retraining how you think, how you look at the world. When you start to do this Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all approach to things, it's very much about hypnotizing yourself to understand that you are a manifestation of everything, right? And once you start to hypnotize yourself to believe that, you start to see that it's true, and it's true. The universe works as if you are this manifestation of this thing. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So I'm going to jump into how to use the site. Let's see here. So this is the part I'm kind of worried about, guys. So if this goes poorly, I apologize. All right. So this is my website. Yes. If you go to rufusopus.com, this is what you're going to see. So when you go to the home page here, this is just the basic home page. Under courses, you should be able to see the... Oh my gosh, I can't see the words on this, of course. I think it's called Courses and Creating a New Life, but if you click on that first one there, Crafting a Prosperous... Oh, this is the wrong one, sorry. Yeah, that's the problem with this. All right, so let's go back to just overview here. All right, so overview here is going to take you to this Courses in Conjuring New Worlds. This kind of goes over my idea of how it all works. Definitely read through all that. It's a pretty easy way to do it. This is still set up as if I was charging for all the classes. Everything is free now. It's still set up the way I had intended it to be, but everything is free. The way I want you to walk through it, and the way I'm going to go through it on the weekly classes here is Conjuration class is going to be first. We're going to talk about that in sections. We're going to do the tutelary spirit classes next, and then the principles of planetary magic last. Okay, somewhere in there, probably after the conjuration class or as part of either this week or next week's, probably next week's class or whatever session, my weekly class, we'll go over the elemental conjuration part of it and sort of an elemental initiation. But yeah, this is where we should begin. Okay, and when you go out here and log into it, you're going to have to create you have to set up a email, like you have to put in your email address and create an actual account. And when you do that, you'll be able to sign up for the classes and add them to your cart. I don't remember exactly what the process looks like to buy a class. I've got a video on it somewhere on my YouTube channel, I believe, but it was made quite a while ago, and I don't know if it's still accurate. Anyway, I'm assuming that it's not that hard. If you can buy something from Amazon, I'm sure you can figure out how to sign up for these classes, especially since they're free. But anyway, if you go to the conjuration class, I believe it's loading. No, it's not. There it goes. Let's see here. It is very slow. Oh, no, it loaded. Okay, there it goes. All right, so here it talks about an overview of the class, right? Takes you all the way down. There's a link to the lesson here. Once you sign up for it, you'll have a link to the lesson. This is what the conjuration class looks like. You'll go in. This is where you'll see the videos. I want to keep the videos here. This is where you'll have the access to the videos. So you can Hello, everybody, and welcome to the class. Today we're going to be talking Interesting. Okay, I can hear that from my TV. Nice. All right. So anyway, yeah, here's the video that goes with the materials. The actual materials are here. Here's a workbook that and a presentation. The presentation is what I go over during the video, but the workbook has all of the actual material in it. And as you can see, I had it open earlier. I can't grab the little. There we go. I really hate the way the scroll bar works since about 2010. It's fucking stupid. Back in my day, we had scroll bars that you could actually scroll on. You could just click on them and just grab the damn scroll bar. Fucking bullshit. All right. So anyway, this is where like the bulk of the material is. This and my rambling conversations in the video. Yeah. So I can't really see it well enough to use this to talk to during our show today. But anyway, that's how to use the site. That's how to get to the class materials. It's pretty straightforward. There's the lesson and there's the materials, and it's that way for all of them. As you join, you'll be able to see all the participants. I will be adding something up here for groups. I won't tell you, like I said earlier, I've got 3,000 fucking groups right now. Oh my god. Ugh. So I gotta clean up my groups. But once I get my groups set up, I'll be able to fix that, and then we'll be able to communicate there. Yeah, that's all the technical details of things. Does anybody have any questions? Let's see. Let me turn this off. Oh, wrong screen. Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's the basics of everything. Yeah, rambling intro and how to use the site and what to expect from initiations and conjurations and whatnot. Yeah. Okay. I think that's as much as I want to talk about today. Let's see. What do we have so far? We've got Solar says happy to be here. Eve Air says hey everyone, happy Sunday. And Dracnael. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with that. Yes, my 20-something goth self. My name is Malcuvio. Sounds a little bit like the Malkavians, and I don't know why, but yes, I have my own name. I want to join the next Conjuring a Prosperous Life Cycle. Yes, I have to. I have to figure out. The last thing I have to do is figure out what the dates are going to be. Once I figure out that, I will make an announcement and post it on my site, and you can join. And I will invite you to the secret Facebook group. The members of the previous cycle voted, and they agreed to just have everybody add into that one. So we're going to have one big happy family of Conjuring a Prosperous Life people, which means you're going to have access to the experience of a whole group of people who've been through this process already, who have seen amazing results in a very short period of time, that are enjoying it, and other people who've seen not very amazing results in a not very short period of time who are also enjoying it very much for various reasons. I was both surprised and pleased to discover that so many people were interested in being willing to open up about their experiences so far with this, because a lot of it has been pretty personal with things. So it's open to it'll be open to anybody else that wants to join in. It's $125 per person to join. You do get a discount on stuff that comes as part of the class. The Everything Talisman, you get the $125 off for the talisman for that. Yeah, so that's what's going on right now with all that stuff. Next week is when I think I'm going to start going over the Conjuration class material. So next week we'll kick off the Conjuration class material. This week, go ahead and sign up for the class. Get your account set up. I'll try to get the group set up for that this week, and then Hi, Solara. Oh, you're asking a very specific question. All right, yes. Let me start over again. Okay. Solara, please disregard everything that you've heard from me specifically until today, because everything I had planned last week has turned out to be crap because I didn't understand what my technical setup was on the on my site. Once I figured out what it actually already is, I realized I can just set up one new group and everybody will be able to communicate there on my site, and that's what I have to do next for that. And I can use my existing course materials, and I'm going to go over that on my weekly shows here. So weekly shows, I'm going to go over my existing course materials. All course materials have to be accessed through my Rufus Opus site. You have to set up an account there and sign up for the classes there, but I will talk about them here in public on my YouTube channel and also on Facebook Live. What's the other thing? That's it for the Great Work Project. You don't need anything else to do the Great Work Project. Okay. Separate from that, the Conjuring a Prosperous Life course is it's the practical application of all of the theoretical and initiatory stuff that we're doing in the Great Work Project. The practical application of that in the Conjuring a Prosperous Life course is $125. And that gives you access to a Facebook group where a bunch of other people who have already been through that are willing to welcome everybody in and start our next cycle, which will start on the next full moon. Dates to be announced. That's to be announced. Okay, so I hope that made everything clearer. Anna, hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. Let's see. I hope that makes everything clearer. I apologize for the confusion. I have talked about my mental illness in the past. I am very ADD, but honestly, it's the pot. I'm figuring out more and more it's the pot, and I'm just a little disorganized because I smoke so much. And I don't have to smoke so much. I just really like it. I enjoy being high quite a bit, and it's fun. So, yeah, so anyway, that's probably my biggest stumbling block in life right now. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm all right. I don't really care. Everything I'm doing right now is pretty much free except for the laser engraved stuff, and so, yeah, I don't feel too bad. I don't feel too bad about being a stoner. You guys are getting this for free, so. Come on, do the thing. Do the thing. There it goes. Haha. All right, so, yeah. What else was going on? That was it. That was all I got for today. I hope that made more sense. Elizabeth, El Heretic. This thing closed on me. Could you repeat the info about the upcoming classes? I think that's what I was doing for you too there. Amazing results from Jessica. Yes, definitely. I'm glad you're going to be through it. Okay, I created an account a few weeks ago, so I'm set. I understand a prosperous life is different. Great. Awesome. And guys, please feel free to ping me on Facebook Messenger. It is the best way to get in touch with me. It might be up to a week or two before I get back to you. I think I have 6 messages I haven't responded to right now, and that's probably about standard what I always have, but they're always like within the last month or so. So I do keep those up to date. I don't have any, like, the only conversations I don't reply to are the ones that are gross, disgusting, nasty. So yeah, do feel free to ping me there, and I look forward to talking to everybody about this stuff because it's fun. I'll talk to you